All right, let's switch regions. We're gonna go down here to the East. All right, so the 1 seed in the East, Purdue, Marquette the 2. They're the 2 favorites to come out of the East. Krabs, I got to be honest, I don't have either of them coming out of the East. Let's get into this one then. Purdue, you got Purdue surviving round 1 here. They'll face Fairleigh Dickinson, right?
Yeah, they're gonna win that game. I mean, Zach Edey will win that game himself.
Yes.
But they might run into some trouble in that next round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. I think that's one to watch. We'll obviously get more into that, but Memphis, Florida Atlantic here. All right, this is an FAU team that was ranked for a small portion of the season, 31-3. That's an impressive year. Who they lose to? UAB, Middle Tennessee, and I forget their other loss, but nonetheless, pretty impressive year. Then you got Memphis, who does not.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss got them. Ooh, well, that's not a great.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for FAU, it's not that bad. Technically, power conference. They just hired Chris Beard, by the way. But yeah, that's definitely a kind of a bad loss. Nonetheless, Memphis though knocking off Houston yesterday. Obviously, Sasser did not play for Houston. It's still Houston, right? I mean, they were still a 6-point dog even after the Sasser news. They feel good about how they're playing right now. What do you think?
Love Memphis in this spot. They're going to beat FAU. They're going to knock off a mid-major darling here. And then they're going to face Purdue down in Fort Worth in the round of 32, a place they're very familiar with playing in, a place they just beat Houston in, their conference championship. So a court they're familiar with. They play well on. Kendrick Davis knows. I love Memphis's path here, and I love them to beat FAU to start it off.
I got Memphis all the way to the Sweet 16, Krabs. I got them winning this one, then they're knocking off Purdue. They're playing with confidence right now. Kendrick Davis, one of the best. I think he's one of the best players in this entire tournament. I'm going to drop my top 10 tournament players later in the day. He'll be on there. I mean, this is a guy that can take over games, can flat out fill it up. You mentioned FAU, probably a team that a lot of people might just, a casual better and, tournament bracket filler looks at the 31-3. They get fired up, Krabs. They get excited and they think it'll be an easy win. I think the way Memphis plays, their style, they're physical, and they're playing with so much confidence at the moment. I think they win this game. I don't want to say with relative ease, but
they're doing what they did last year, bro.
Uh-huh.
Remember last year they went on a run at the end of the season, and then they got hot and they won some games in the tournament. I think we see the same thing here.
Yep, they got hot. Yeah, they have the guys to do it, so I do like them. All right, I got to tweet this one out, Krabs, because this is for some reason this is like the most talked about first round game. Duke and Oral Roberts, all right? Oral Roberts is a pretty – now, from a betting standpoint, I don't know if this is true, but from bracket fillers out, people, I see a lot of Oral Roberts knocks off Duke. I don't think so. I think Duke actually rolls in this game. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, Oral Roberts is very, very good. Not a great matchup there for the ACC champs, unfortunately. Not a great draw there for Duke, given there by the committee, but – I'm with you. I have Duke going very, very far in my bracket. Won't reveal, everything here. We're going to go over the official one soon. But I got Duke advancing. I've got them going pretty far. I don't think a very public Oral Roberts team is going to get in their way. This team's had magic in the past with Max Asmus. He's still back. He's on this team. They're very good. Don't get me wrong. This is the best Oral Roberts team they've ever had. Best record they've ever had. But this is not the year to back them. They already had their magic, a couple years ago. They're public this time around. That's when you fade. That's when you back a team nobody wants to take here, and that's Duke after just winning the ACC tournament. People hate Duke, number one. Number two, they're going to say, well, don't want to back a team that just won their conference tournament, which is usually true. But in this spot, with how well Duke's been playing and how good Filipowski is, nobody on Oral Roberts can freaking stack up against him. He's a 7-foot, point forward. He can dribble a little bit and do everything. So good luck, Oral Roberts. You're going to need it.
Yeah, I think they get rolled here. Here's the thing with Duke, too. I mean, no team hotter right now in college hoops. So if they win this game, it'd be 10 in a row. They haven't lost a game in over a month. And the game they lost, they actually shouldn't have lost. It was that missed foul at the end, right on Filipowski, that went into overtime against Virginia. Listen, like you said, people love to hate Duke. They're fun to hate. I hate Duke. I think most people do. But right now, there is no reason to fade Duke, especially against a mid-major kind of like Oral Roberts that you mentioned. The public loves because of their name, because of the run they went on last year. They know a couple players from the team. That's no reason to back them. I think they're going to really struggle in this game. They just don't have the athletes to match up with Duke. You mentioned Filipowski, but, Roach is playing the best basketball of his career, a guy with a ton of experience. And then this is a team, Krabs, that just has a ton of 5-star athletes all over it. Derek Lively was the highest recruit coming into the year. He's had a little bit of an underwhelming season from a statistical standpoint, but I think he's the best rim protector in college basketball right now. I mean, this kid can block anything. You have, kids all over the court. Mitchell's a guy who missed early in the year that has come along a little bit. Proctor's a guy who can really shoot it. They just have too many guys for Oral Roberts to keep pace with in this game. So I think Duke is actually being a little bit overlooked here in this first round game, in this East in general. We'll get more into Duke. I have them making a little bit of a run here, but that's one to keep an eye on. All right, here's my first big upset in the East. I got the Raging Cajuns knocking down the Volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah, knocking them out.
Okay.
All right, so I did tweet out a bracket last night, Krabs, that had Tennessee, and then I sat down and I said, all right, this isn't my official bracket. Got a little carried away last night. I had one seed going to the Elite Eight or Final Four or something. I had no 1 seeds in the Final Four. All right, so I was a little out of control last night. But I sat down, I thought about it. This is an upset one that I do like now, Krabs. I think out of the Sun Belt, they get it done here. Tennessee is a team that struggles offensively to begin with. Ziegler's out, right, for the year. That is the only guy on Tennessee that I really think can create shots. I'm not saying they don't have good shooters. Vescovi's a pretty good spot-up shooter. He is a decent shooter. I mean, he can get going at times. They have bigs that, have some post ability, but they don't have a lot of pure shot creators, in my opinion. So I like Louisiana pulling off the upset over Tennessee here. Give me a 13 to knock them off, and they keep dancing. This is a game, in my opinion, you can be kind of risky with because I have Duke going to the Sweet 16 either way. So, if you're people who do March Madness brackets know the first round games, typically they don't kill you, right? You can take some chances. It's those later games that get you more points. But now Louisiana knocks them off. Take them money line, take them spread, whatever you want to do. Tennessee's dead. I do want to shout out Rocky Top, though. They made me a lot of money this year, so I'm kind of sad I have to fade them. Without Ziegler, they're dead. Goodbye. Go home. It's over. So Louisiana.
Yeah. I don't hate that upset. Nobody's taking him. Nobody wants to take him. Jordan Brown is an absolute dog, the Arizona transfer on the Raging Cajuns. He scores almost 20 points a game. So, you want to be back in team Cinderella stories, upsets, dogs that, not everybody's on, right? That's how you win. And this is definitely one of those teams. So, no Ziegler for Tennessee. That's huge. The total's a little bit higher than I thought in that game with how good Tennessee's defense is at 136. I thought it'd be in the 120s. That's a good sign for the Cajuns as well.
That is. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're going to have a lot of – Krabs, these people hate this. A lot of people saying Tennessee easy.
Not easy. Shouldn't be easy. I do think Tennessee probably wins this game, though, but I do think it's going to be weird. I'll definitely be on the Cajuns on the spread for sure.
Yeah, I'm talking spread more here. But no, Ziegler is without a doubt the most important team and most important player to that team. So without him, I do not expect them to – and again, if they win this game, that's fine. I just don't think they're going to go on a run. I think they'll be out by the Sweet 16, but I like the Cajuns to get it done. All right, here's a game a lot of people wanted to headline, Kentucky-Providence. This is a big-time game. 2 power conference teams going at it. Listen, I like Kentucky to win this one. What's the spread for this? Is it 3?
Spread is at 4.5 now. Opened up at 3.5.
All right, so it's continued to go. Yeah, it's continued to go in their favor.
Yeah, moving towards Kentucky. I do think Kentucky wins this game. I'll be honest with you. I think Sheway is going to prove too much against that pretty weak front court there in Providence. Providence, they are full of magic, and it's scary to fade them. I totally get it. But a great draw for Kentucky here, and I think they roll and take advantage of it.
Yeah, Providence, they're frauds, Krabs. Kind of been saying, nobody. And listen, Providence kind of backed into this tournament. Like, I was looking at bracketology yesterday. I didn't realize how on the bubble they were. So they were one of the last teams that got in. Actually, because they were ranked. They were ranked most of the year. So that is a very big deal. Alex Workman is very adamant, Krabs, that Ziegler is not important to their team. I would disagree with that. I believe he leads them in assists, and he's top 3 on the team in scoring. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think he's the
I will say they have played well without him. I've been impressed. with how they've kind of filled the gap and played without him. I think they've overperformed without Zeeks, I will say. So if that's what he means, I agree. But it definitely matters that their star young point guard is not out there for the game. It 100% matters.
Yeah, I would say, Matt, when you lead the team in assists, points, steals, it probably plays a factor. But what do I know, Krabs? I just yeah, a little bit. Definitely probably matters. All right. Kansas State, Montana State. All right. Any upset here for Montana State, or you think Kansas State gets done?
I've got Montana State winning this game. I do. They've got Specs, an absolute beast, Bayo in the paint. He should be able to feast against Kansas State's weak front court. They don't really have any good bigs. They have Dave Ngessen, the transfer from VT, who couldn't even get minutes there. So it goes to show you what they're working with down there. And they've got Raekwon Battle now, who drops almost 18 points a game. So now they have a guard. We heard this team making noise, last year in the tournaments. They made it, but they got blown out. I think they get some revenge, and they played much better the second time around. Bayo's got a March Madness appearance under his belt. Raekwon Battle, huge addition there for their front court. Dude's an absolute stud, can score on his own as well. So I definitely like them to cover. Lines moved from 9.5 to 8.5 already. And I think they win this game. I'll be honest with you. I have them moving on.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we see anything here. Kansas State, what a year also Jerome Tang has had there, coming over from Baylor as Scott Drew's top assistant. Done a really good job with that Kansas State team. They could be dangerous this time of year. So, I don't see any upset there for Montana State. I think K-State rolls that one pretty easy. All right, this is a game that a lot of people wanted to get into, Michigan State, USC. Krabs, I'm seeing a lot of USC love as a dog here. People might be forgetting about Tom Izzo here in March. I want your thoughts on this one first, then I'll get mine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with the Red Hot Spartans, man. I think they win this game. Tough matchup, once they face Vermont, and we'll get to that game in a little bit. But I do think they take down a USC team who, Boogie Ellis is nice. He's been playing better recently, but I'm not impressed by USC. They haven't won many big games. Michigan State playing the best ball of their season. They're playing for more than just basketball. We know they had a shooting there a couple months ago, and they've been playing much better since then. They had a home game. It was very emotional. And ever since that game, they've been kind of playing, they've stepped up their performance, to be honest with you. So, they still have Hogar. They still have, a lot of really good guards here. Tyson's an absolute stud. I think Michigan State makes a little bit of a run here, potentially.
I'm with you. I think Michigan State wins the game. I'm seeing a lot of USC love. But here's the thing with USC. If you can take out Boogie Ellis, I think they're very beatable. And with a coach as good as Tom Izzo, I don't think you don't stop great players, but they can limit his production. USC only has one other player that averages double figures. That's Drew Peterson. And, he's a solid player, but he's a guy that I'm willing to say, all right, go ahead and beat me. You mentioned Walker and Hogarth. I think they're two of the better guard combination in the tournament. I think they're two guys who can really fill it up. They're, hard-nosed guards, play physical, fast basketball. Going to come down to those other guys there for Michigan State. The production of, a guy like Joey Hauser, how he shoot the ball. He had a pretty good year shooting it. I think he averaged a little bit over 14 a game for them. Tom Izzo this time of year, their Krabs, don't want to fade him. I think he comes up with a good enough game plan for USC. And again, you can limit Boogie Ellis in this game. You have a good chance to win because there's really only one other guy on USC that can score with consistency, and that's Drew Peterson. And if you watch USC games, kind of does that old-fashioned dad versus son in the driveway back down fadeaway shot. He doesn't play the most pure form of basketball. I think they could slow him down in this game. All right, this Marquette game, right, against Vermont. I just heard you say against Vermont. You got Vermont knocking off Marquette here in round one?
I do.
Wow.
I do. Don't let the Catamounts get hot. Yeah, don't let them get hot. I love this Vermont team. Dylan Penn, their point guard, who transferred over from Bellarmine last year. He's a stud driver, and he's been dishing to, 4 dudes who stand on the arc who absolutely drain threes. So they struggled in the beginning of the season to kind of mesh with their new driving guard. And now, since halfway through the season, it's absolutely fit like a glove. They haven't lost a game since Nam. This team is absolutely cracked out, playing their good basketball, best basketball at the right time. And Marquette really struggles to defend the 3 ball as well. They're like 200th in the country at defending the 3. What does Vermont do? They shoot 42% from 3, and they're going to give Marquette one heck of a struggle to get through this tournament and advance through the first round. So I've got Vermont knocking them off and winning this game outright.
Wow. What's the spread for that?
Spread on that is 10.5. 10.5, opened up 11.5. So get a white count.